Alright, so it's Monday, and it's like 1-ish. We're back with Tati, and we're starting.
No. It's Monday, 1:36-ish, and we're over here about to record a fire session that we didn't finish last time
Because somebody was running out of voice.
Hey, listen, my voice is
Because my voice is hurting, so we didn't finish.
Oh, really? Listen, I said that. JJ took off the headphones. He was like, "Yo, yeah, man, honestly, I heard it."
Yeah, he sucked. Anyway, we're gonna. Okay, so today's kind of been a slow day in the studio, but I want to kind of give you guys a lesson on my favorite way to record acoustic guitar. Now, there are several different ways that you can record acoustic guitar. You can use one microphone, two microphones plus an input, but what I'm going to be doing today is showing you just the microphone, just the input, and then the microphone and the input. So we're going to have all three examples, and the first time that you hear the microphone and the input, it's going to be not processed. It is going to be a signal that is both channels are unity gain. There's no craziness or anything like that. And then the second time that you hear the example, it's going to be the microphone and the input cleaned up. So now with volumes that are going to be different, some compression, some EQ, a little bit of panning, and you guys will be able to hear the difference between all three examples. And on that third example 3A and 3B, you guys will be able to hear the difference. So I'm going to play to you now these three examples, and that way we can hear the difference and you guys can learn something new and maybe even adapt it to your home recording. So let's do that now. So in that first example, you hear the input by itself, and there's a lot of clarity there, but it lacks body. In the second example, you hear the microphone by itself, and there's a lot of body, but it kind of lacks a little bit of clarity. That third example, I have the microphone and the input together, but unity gain, meaning I'm not messing around with the volumes or anything like that. It's just what it is. And in the fourth example, it's the microphone and the input or the cable together, but this time with a little bit of EQ, with some compression and all that stuff. And you can really hear the difference, especially when it comes to recording guitars in the studio. You might want to go with either the microphone and the cable, maybe two microphones and a cable. You kind of want to find the right kind of tone for what you're going for. So I hope that helps. And maybe I'll just continue to putting these little lessons in the vlogs, because I feel like they could be really helpful to people that are recording at home and maybe don't know how to start or where to start. Good morning this Tuesday morning. It might be a little bit of a slow week, but because of that, I think this week might also be a big teaching week. So for example, I have some news. My next song, which was supposed to come out March 14th next week, got postponed to June 4th because my song For Granted is doing really well. So big shout out to everybody that's been listening to my song. But my song For Granted has been doing pretty well on all the music platforms that the record label decided to postpone the next song. So what I'm trying to do for tomorrow now is set up a little live performance here let's see if we can darken that. Yeah, right here on this part of the grass, we would take off all the banners here and just have like a performance with me and Enrique during sunset, because sunset over here looks gorgeous. This is probably the best place on the lake ever to watch the sunset. And we'd be performing here with the sunset in the background, the song For Granted, and then maybe be able to use that as a live performance for YouTube and put it up as little snippets here on social media like Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, everybody that is an artist, that is an independent artist, understands how hard it is to do content. Like, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. I find it really difficult because I feel like it gets too repetitive and too boring at times, especially when you're pushing the same song again and again and again. But it's something that works. My best stream day for the song For Granted has been the days that I push the song the most. So maybe today I'll show you guys what it looks like to be analyzing the songs and stuff like that, and what I see on my end as an artist. Now, what I will say is that even though I am part of a record label and I am a signed artist, a part of the record label, this is not a big record label. It used to be a different kind of record label, and then we started from the ground up when there was a big conversion from secular to Christianity and Christian music. But this is not a big record label, so all the artists have to put in a lot of effort to kind of boost our music organically, as if we were independent artists. We do get help from the label, but even the label is starting from scratch right now, so we are doing our best collectively as a big effort to get our music out there and to get it pushed. So maybe today that's what I'll be showing you guys here in the studio, because as of right now there's not a lot of work to do in the studio. We do have worship night, so we're going to set up worship night, and then I have to give that class today at church, but there's not too much to do at the studio today, so we'll see what happens. All right, let's get the day started. This might be an education-filled week, because right now the studio is a little slow, so I'm going to show you guys what I mean by analytics on Spotify. So right here, you can see my analytics page on Spotify. Now, this is my latest release, For Granted, which is doing pretty well overall, because it was added pretty early on to a playlist called Faith and Folks. Here's where I want to get at, and this is what I want to talk about. Whenever I make content, you'll see here on the screen that on the 16th of last month and the 18th, I had two of my strongest days of streams. And that was the day that those 2 days, actually those 3, because in between that, sorry, I had to fix the camera, I had a pretty strong day also. Those days, I was pushing out content like crazy, and people were listening to songs. Yesterday and the day before, and really almost for the last 2 weeks, I've tried not to stop and miss a day for content. Now, of course, the numbers have not been as strong, but they're pretty decent. They're not in the hundreds. They're in the 200s, almost 300s, which is pretty cool. Now, if you look at the playlist added yesterday, I posted on 3 different accounts. I posted on my Instagram account, my main TikTok account, and my side TikTok account. And I was talking about the song on all 3 accounts. And yesterday, the song was added to 12 different individual playlists. That means if you're listening to the song and you add it on the playlist, I get that data. I can see what happens. But on the 16th, which was the day that I got the most streams, it was added to the most amount of playlists because I kept talking about the song. I did not stop. Yesterday, I had 2 saves on the song. Now, if you look on the day that the song was released, I had 182 saves, which is really good. After that, it's just been 2, 3, a little bit of saves here and there, 7 saves, 8 saves. Yesterday I had 2, which I count as a big win. Now, listeners, of course, is really similar to streams, but that's how many individual listeners are listening to the song at the moment. Now, all that to say, do I obsess over these numbers? Yes and no. There's days where I get frustrated. I'm like, I want this song to go and to be louder and heard everywhere. And there's days where I'm like, you know what? Let God's will be God's will. And that's where I'm trying to be with streams and listening and music and all that stuff. I don't want to care about whether or not it has a lot of numbers or it's making high results. I'm being very transparent with you guys. What I want to care about is if the message is reaching the people that it's supposed to reach. The song is called For Granted, and it's about being hurt and your friends taking you for granted and everything. But at the same time, the song is a reflection on myself and asking the Lord, what should I do? And him saying, you've taken me for granted, so what you should do is forgive them because I always forgive you. That's why the chorus says, so Jesus, give me strength and a love that never fails because I know that I've taken you for granted. Because whenever I take the Lord for granted, he forgives me, he renews me, and he gives me strength. That's what I should do to all my friends that have taken me for granted. So there's a little bit of a lesson on Spotify analytics. Now, do I look at my analytics for Apple and for YouTube and any other platform? Not really. Why? Because I don't have access to it. And at this point, I really don't want access to it because I do check this every single day. And I feel like it could be a distraction towards what the goal really is. And the goal should be make good music, make the message something that everybody can listen to and accept and everybody can grow from the message. And not to make music that would make the numbers go up. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to be as transparent as possible, but this is just a short lesson on YouTube, Spotify analytics. Now, before I go, I do want to show you the difference between For Granted and Who Would Have Thought. Who Would Have Thought was my other, or is the highest song at the moment. And if I go back and look at year, which the song came out in November, so it hasn't even been a year, you'll see that when it came out, it was doing pretty well, maybe 20, 30 streams a day. But then when it got added to a playlist in December, automatically my numbers started to shoot up. And it was up there from December all the way to February. So it was there for about 3 months. And then it was taken out, and now my numbers are pretty similar to the beginning again, 20, 30. But it was added to a lot of playlists. Now the difference is I didn't do any content for this song. So all those numbers that you see here is all stuff from the playlist, how the playlist was putting out my music and how many people were listening to my songs on the playlist. And that song was put on the Faith and Folk playlist also. So I learned my lesson, and now I'm trying to do content and trying to do as much as possible so that these songs, or the new song For Granted, could do better. So that's the difference. That's why I have to make content. Now, am I good at making content? No. Do I like making content? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Do I need help with making content? Yes, of course. Does it actually have results? Yes, you saw it yourself. My song right now is doing way better than Who Would Have Thought did, and the difference is the content that I'm doing. So that's my goal. That's what I'm doing with the song, and that's my little TED Talk on Spotify. So that's it. I hope you guys learned something. Okay, so it's Wednesday morning now. I helped Obed. It's like the afternoon, really. So it's Wednesday afternoon. I helped pick up after the worship night, and we do have some people working in the studios today. I'm not going to be so involved in the studio, but what I am trying to do is solidify the performance today. So like I said, I'm going to try to do a performance outside right there. And since we just picked up all the equipment from the worship night, I have all the equipment basically ready. Now, since it's going to be a performance of, I was going to say Who Would Have Thought? No. Since it's going to be a performance of For Granted, it doesn't have to be that crazy. So I'm thinking about only putting out one speaker, not using a click. It's just going to be 2 guitars anyway. I think we're going to be sitting down and playing during sunset, and then just play it back and listen to it. And if we have to do another take, that's it. So I try to have my things be as as real as possible, not spend too much time obsessing over details, because I really like when, for lack of a better term, the vibe is there. So we'll see how that pans out. But for now, I think I'm gonna go get some lunch, and I'm gonna come back and get ready for tonight. So we're getting ready for the little video now. I'm gonna have Enrique on the electric guitar here. I'm gonna be on the acoustic over there. Got my wife for moral support, and Henry for even more moral support. And now my wife is gonna vlog and take over. There you go, that's the spirit. He can stay back there. He's cool with the vibe. He's just eating his apples. So we just finished up with For Granted Live. Thanks. Big shout out to Enrique. Make sure to go follow him. I'll put his Instagram in the description like before. Yeah, go follow him.
Better follow.
Yeah, you better follow. And big shout out to my wife for being the BTS vlogger, helping me with behind the scenes. Anything to say to the fans?
I don't know what to say.
Hopefully by the time that this vlog is out, the video should be out. So I'll put it down in the description also, and go watch it if you haven't watched it yet. Say good morning, Sammy.
Good morning.
Today is Thursday morning here at the studio, and Sammy just came back. For those of you that don't know, he's getting married the 23rd of this month, so we're close. We're cutting it real close. So we're gonna take advantage. We're gonna go fishing a little bit before I lose him to his wife. This is the biggest bass I've seen here in the community. That thing is huge, man. Oh my God. I've never seen a bass that big in this lake. That is humongous, dude. That is huge. That is the biggest bass I've ever seen in this lake. That thing is huge, man. My God. What a catch.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, man. Hold on, let me take a picture of you with that thing. Okay, so it took a little bit of time, but finally, and I'm so proud and happy of the Escol team. They finally changed out my profile pictures on, I'm looking at Spotify right now. If you go on my Spotify, you can see that they finally changed out my pictures, which is amazing. So I got a handful, not a handful, like over 300 pictures that we took, and then from those 300 I chose about 120 that I really liked, because it's more of my style and my vibe. So finally they changed out the profile picture on Spotify. I'm really happy. This is more of my vibe. This is more of my of what I do and what I look like and who I am. If you guys go to my my Instagram, you can see 3 of the 120 pictures that we took. One of them, I'm on my car. That's my Toyota 4Runner. I have a 3rd generation Toyota 4Runner with like, I'm 296,000 miles right now. So I'm about 4,000 miles from getting to 300,000 miles. And then 2 more pictures there also. So I'm finally, yes, we did it, guys. So I had to take Sammy to go get a haircut right now. It took me 20 minutes to get there, but 40 minutes to get back, which means I was on the road for about an hour. So thank you so much, Miami traffic. But on the way back, I was listening to a sermon, and I got struck by inspiration. So I think I got a new song today. Problem is that I have about 2 hours to work before I go home, eat some dinner, and then go to rehearsal tonight. So I don't have a lot of time, but at least I can lay the foundation for the song and then finish it later. So I'm going to start working. Good Friday morning. Here at the studio. I actually came in early today, like at 9:30, and I like to come in early into the studio because that way I can leave a little earlier. And usually Fridays I leave early anyway. I work late Monday and Wednesdays, and sometimes Thursdays, so I can leave like 2 to 3 hours earlier. But that being said, I didn't get to finish what I wanted to finish yesterday, so right now I'm actually uploading and backing up all the video that I took from yesterday, and it's going to take another 20 minutes to upload. After that, I'm going to move over to the other area and start, or at least finish the idea that I had. And if I have a chance, I need to finish writing this song. So I might finish writing it today, and maybe if I have time, I'll start recording it. But if not, it'll have to wait till next week. But this is what a slow week looks like. Usually weeks like this in the studio are extremely rare, meaning they almost never happen. And if they do happen, they're sometime after Thanksgiving, heading towards the end of the year, like around Christmas, New Year time. There's nobody in the studio. I'm here. Sometimes I'm working on projects. Sometimes I'm just chilling and making sure that everything is in working order. But for the most part, we tend to not really have a slow week in the studio, and I'm grateful for whenever we have a slow week, because that means we're gonna have a strong week the following week. So today might be slow, or this week was a little slow, but next week, I have a funny feeling that next week is gonna be a hectic one.
Como me amas así, solo un padre.
Jonathan.
No.
How are you, Jonathan? Let's go.
Who gave you permission?
¿Estas son las qué?
Las teclas blancas y las
Un cable, porque realmente bueno.
Perdón y gracia.